This guy was on the call, like we told you, in Foxborough yesterday from CBS. Nice enough to join us this morning on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line. He is Charles Davis on the Fan 680 and 93.7 FM. Charles, as always, great to have you on.
Hey, thanks for having me. Hope you guys are well.
Doing very well. So what do you take out of what you saw as a whole from the Falcons yesterday?
Kind of encapsulated the season as far as I was concerned, and watching and having watched it throughout the year. Opportunities there, sometimes taken advantage of, sometimes not. A team that is good, but not good enough yet to consistently get it done. But you can see the makings of what's there, and you say to yourself, this team is, I think, good enough to compete, right? And I thought it was a lot of fun yesterday to see the flashes from Jalen Walker and James Pierce, because you don't get drafted both in the first round, especially the second one where you trade back in the first round and give up assets for the future. In my mind, I thought that move was made to take dead aim at Tampa this year. Not for the future, right now. Let's go get them. And to see them flash and make some plays yesterday, now you're just hoping there'll be more consistency there and more plays to come, because their blitz rate is the highest in the league. And I know that it feels almost like we're going back to the Grits blitz with Jerry Glanville, which immediately dates me when I bring that up. But in my mind, I don't think they want to blitz as much as that they're blitzing. That's why you drafted those young kids. Boy, when they come along and really, really get it done, then you can lower the blitz rate a little bit, add more to the coverage, and go from there. That's just my opinion.
All right.
Now, what Raheem Morris and crew are doing, they may believe that's the way to go. I just think that blitz rate is really, really high, but I feel like they believe it's necessary.
All right. We asked Rich McKay last week. We've asked other people. Do you think this is a talented enough roster to be a playoff team, in your opinion, yes or no?
Borderline.
So what do you have to? So what do you have to make sure you do when you're a borderline playoff team?
You have to be extremely consistent in everything that you're doing. Like each ball game, when I say there's not much margin for error, it makes it sound like you're hanging on by a very thin thread. That's really not what it is, because we've seen them play at their peak against some pretty darn good teams. We saw a Buffalo team yesterday beat up in Kansas City, and Atlanta really took their measure, right? So it's not that as much as where's the consistency throughout the roster, and some of that just comes with them being young. Like, you've got a quarterback that I have to keep kicking myself, reminding myself. Yesterday was his 10th start. Okay, and he got skewed, as you guys know, because he's in the same draft class with Caleb Williams, who took the ball day one. Jaden Daniels took the ball day one. Drake May got the ball, a little bit past midseason last year, right? You know, J.J. McCarthy didn't play at all last year, and Bo Nix got the ball day one. So it's very difficult. We're all going, second year, he should be doing it. Second year. He's in his 10th start. We forget he didn't start till the end of last year. And with that goes growing pains, and it's not just him. It's all the way through. Receivers have been hurt. The running game, for whatever reason, hasn't been quite as consistent, although I thought Zach Robinson adapted very well to that yesterday. I really did. Because you guys know running the ball against New England's tough. They're the number 2 run defense for a reason. It wasn't just because people didn't run it. And once Zach realized there just wasn't a lot of headway, the way that he used Bijan Robinson is much more of an extra receiver, still with the threat of him maybe carrying it, and bring in Algier to be the running back on that pony set, just to create space for Robinson. I thought that was a really good job by Zach, making that adjustment in the game.
Can I go back to the question I asked, whether it's a playoff roster team? And if it's close, my answer is then you can't time out it wrong. You can't intentional grounding it wrong. You don't have a margin of error where, quite honestly, and I'm fed up with it, and I'm not looking to put the brunt on you. You saw the game yesterday. This team, this organization, habitually does things that takes that margin that's small, or maybe you're a playoff team and not, and they shoot toes off every week. Every week, they leave that field with 6 toes missing because they do enough wrong where you go, well, there's another one. There's another one.
Well, I don't think we're very far off from what I said. Okay, consistency in what you do. Everything you're bringing up is why you lose ball games. right? You can't shy away from that if you're the Atlanta Falcons. Plus, I go back to 3 weeks ago. For the last 3 weeks, we've heard we haven't been consistent running the football. We're mis-IDing people. We're not doing this. We're not communicating. You got 3 weeks to fix it with an offensive line. It's pretty good. And that still really wasn't the case. Yeah, New England's pretty good in run defense, but all in all, that really didn't jump up and get better, even with all the extra concentration on it. Now, did they have some injuries yesterday? Sure. Bergeron went out, first series? Lindstrom went out, I think, fourth quarter when he finally went out of the ball game. But all in all, I still don't see that. But to your point, I don't think we're very far off on that. It's consistency of action, consistency of play. And those winning plays that have to be made at that time aren't always there. I mean, it's everybody wants to jump on the field goal kicker, and understandably so. You missed an extra point. That's a killer. But that's one of those plays, right? You're right there with a chance to be tied and really have the pressure on them, because the way New England was playing down the stretch, I don't want to be overly dramatic, but tell me if you guys think I'm wrong. They were leaking oil down the stretch. Atlanta had things going in their direction down the stretch.
You knocked an MVP-type quarterback off an MVP track. That's what you did. You made his day miserable for him, and I agree with you. 4 minutes left. That might have continued.
Because you remember down the stretch, he didn't make any big throws that he had made earlier in the game. And I thought Josh McDaniels did a wonderful job protecting him. Remember the series before Atlanta scored to score it, to almost tie the ball game? It was 3rd and, I think, 10+. And what was the play called by New England? It wasn't to throw the ball downfield. It was a fake one way and try and swing the running back out of the backfield coming back the other way. Remember, they're trying to get Trayvon Henderson. I think it was Jalen Walker knocked the ball away, made a really nice play.
Yes, batted the ball down, yep.
And they had to punt it. Is that a play call you make if you feel like your quarterback's playing well?
No, you don't trust your quarterback at that point to go down the field.
You're protecting him.
Yeah.
Okay? Now let's fast forward. 24-23, okay? 3rd down again.
3rd and 4.
You got a chance, right? You got a chance to run it, use another timeout, but let's be honest, in this league, that's not a great idea. You got to dive with your boots on, right? But what was the play call? Again, double screen out to the outside. I call it screen, pick, whatever, right? With the routes going inside and sliding the tight end out in the flat to where it's a very easy, safe throw. Again, you're making sure you're taking care of your quarterback there. He gets the throw. He breathes a sigh of relief. He feels better. They walk away with it. Atlanta put them in that position. If Atlanta kicks the extra point, right, if that ball goes through the post, to your point, if you make the plays you're supposed to make, all the pressure's on them, and that was a winnable game for the Falcons.
Charles Davis on the Falcons Patriots call from CBS with us on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line. We talk about doing the little things with a young team. How much of that is on the coaching staff? In other words, the seemingly consistent mistakes week in, week out from this young team.
Well, coaches have to own everything. You know, you wouldn't be in that position if you're not. If you are that person, you have to jump up and you have to own it. How do you fix it? I have to be in all the meetings, right? I have to be in all the stuff. I sound like a coach saying, I got to watch the tape. But the truth of the matter is, if you're not there every day to see what they're doing, we're taking educated guesses from the outside. But it's stuff that has to be harped on, obviously. It has to be coached. What's the old expression every coach has ever said to us? You get what you coach. Well, if it's the same stuff happening all the time, then you have to question exactly what you're doing. I can't say for specifics here, but I do know that as you watch the ball game, right, like the one where Penix got the grounding call, I thought it was as simple as this, guys, and maybe I'm wrong, and the Falcons can call me and tell me I'm wrong. I thought it was as simple as this. I'm not sure he knew which side of the field the back was on. Because when he grounded it, the back was to his left. If he grounds it to his left at his feet, we have no call.
Yeah. So can I tell you?
To the right, he grounds it to the right, and yeah, we got a grounding call.
I know that
it was as simple as that. And there was one other time in the game where I saw Michael Penix go for a play fake, and the back was on the other side.
Exactly. That was the one. There was a play action fake to nobody.
So can I tell you,
We
Charles?
talked about that earlier before you came on.
You probably were packing up and getting ready to get out of the building. So I don't know if you saw the post-game press conferences or not.
No, I never see those.
So let me again, if you just want, I'm sorry, I'm going to dump our collective angst of the city onto your lap. Raheem Morris goes to the press conference, and he says that the New England defense simulated their snap count by clapping. Now, I've looked at the video. There's nobody clapping. And I'm going to go one step further. He praises them for smart football, where that's a penalty. That's a 15-yard penalty. If that really happened, he should have been railing, talking about, again, not as an excuse, but a screw job. It never happened. And I got a head coach telling me it happened 20 minutes after the game, where he could have looked at the tape. And let me tell you something. If I'm a head coach and you're clapping, I got a name and I got a number. And I'm telling the world who clapped on that play. And the NFL, the referees can't have that happen. That's a 15-yarder to put you in field goal distance. And I got a guy praising the New England Patriots for smart football on something that, A, I don't think happened. But why the hell would you be praising them for smart football when it's a 15-yard penalty if you do that?
As we said, Charles, you're kind of the messenger here. You're on the wrong place at the wrong time.
Listen, I get it. I absolutely get it. I mean, listen, I've got a few things in my way. I wish I could call you guys and give you a few things, but that wouldn't help the ratings.
Now, let me tell you about the spending. Okay? Let me tell you about the spending habits of my 20-year-old daughter in college. Let's just go through
while we're here.
Well,
it's just one thing after another, it seems, Charles.
Yeah, well, since you brought up the spending habits of your 20-year-old daughter, if you ever Google the Lane Kiffin when his daughter told him how much the shirt cost that she bought, have you ever seen that one? It's one of my all-time favorites. He actually takes his own pulse. It was outstanding. And by the way, every parent, male or female, watch that video and went, yeah, I get that one.
Oh, yeah.
I totally get it. Look, later on this week, there will be an officials tape. Meaning all the things that come out about the week where people send in stuff. This has become something, hey, we got to look at this as more of a priority. Remember a few weeks ago was better officiating of the tush push?
Yes.
You know, where they go a bit offsides, that sort of thing. So every time something like that pops up, and the clapping part is very interesting to me because I'm not saying one way or the other because I didn't see the presser. And, you know, I go back and I'd have to watch the tape and blah, blah, blah. I'm just listening to you and taking you for what you're telling me. But the clapping part, I'm eager to see if that comes out of anywhere else. You know why? Because how much of the game is played out of gun nowadays? Much of it, right? Every team that you watch, a lot of quarterbacks are in gun. How are we initiating play most of the time?
Clap.
We're clapping.
Yeah.
The clap has become an integral part of the thing. I want to see if now we getting in people saying, yo, the defenses are starting to do this clap thing, and now they're, before it was simulating our voices, right? When we would say, go, like if go was initiating your offense, go. Team on the other side was go, show, which in the heat of the battle might sound like go, and a guy jumps and you can get it. Now we'd have to see if there's a thing with the clapping and the whole thing. I want to see if it's becoming something around the league, but I don't know that, again, if he's saying, boy, that's smart football, yeah, it's a penalty, that's a tough one for a fan base to handle because you're like, hold up a second. We want the penalty.
Right.
We don't want the rest of the whole thing. I believe I know where he's going. It's smart football if you can create something and get away with it. What's the old expression? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. Right? If you ain't, so maybe that's where he was going, perhaps. I don't know. All I know is that it's a frustrating time because this team is close, but the consistency or the inconsistency has got to be maddening because it's real simple. Look at the record. Look at who they beat. Look who they've lost to. Like, what?
Yeah, they're consistent.
It's hard to wrap your head around it.
Yeah, we say it all the time, Charles. They're consistently inconsistent. That's the best way to describe the Falcons.
Great way to put it. But and by the way, Carolina beating Green Bay doesn't make you feel better about losing 30-0 to Carolina.
Well, sir.
That's the thing. That's the thing around the league. I've had friends. They beat. I said, no. You're missing the whole idea. It's not a matter if they upset someone else. Now you can go and feel better about it. Should you have beaten that team? Period. Yeah. It's like Green Bay should have won at Dallas. Didn't. Green Bay at home yesterday, losing to Carolina. If Carolina wins the next 7 in a row, Green Bay's not going to feel better about that.
And they lost to the Browns as well.
And Rico Dowdle, by the way, goes for 130 and 2 touchdowns when we have another day at Bijan not getting 50 because the thing that we were supposed to dance with, we don't. Just let's finish up with this. If I gave you 2 choices to win the Super Bowl, how confident would you be? If you gave me, I'll give you 3. If I asked you for 3 teams that you were going to say, throw everybody else out, one of these 3 wins the Super Bowl, how confident would you be that you get it right?
Ooh, not very.
which is great.
Not very at all.
It's great for everybody.
Not very at all. You guys are historians of the game. Pete Rozelle, the first great commissioner of the NFL, right? He is sitting wherever he is sitting somewhere, probably got a heater going right now, got a nice little cigarette going, right? And got the biggest grin on his face because he introduced parity to the game before we realized what they were doing.
He said he wanted
goal every year was 7-7. Everyone 7-7.
He said he wanted parity in the league, and I don't think a lot of people, when he first said it, knew what parity meant. We all know what it means now.
We all know now, and the league is set up now, and is continued on, where it is literally set up. When we were playing 16 games, it was set up for you to have a chance to be 8-8 every year. Whether you were on the plus side or the minus side was up to you and your organization. But you had a chance to be 8-8. Essentially, is how it breaks down.
And everybody now, playing by the same
9-8.
But everybody playing by the same rules,
stuff,
right?
Money. The scheduling is set up for you to be better. Now, sometimes it doesn't quite work out because sometimes it just gets you. Like the Giants this year, they should have had one of the easiest schedules going based on how they finished last year, right? Instead, they got the monster schedule coming at them because their division and who they acquired for the two divisions they played that year, right? So it came at them like a sledgehammer when they really weren't equipped. But for the most part, that's what the schedule does. You finish fourth in your division, you play a quote-unquote fourth-place schedule. You have a chance to get right. That's why we have so many worst to first. And every year, how many teams bounce out of the playoffs and a new group of people bounce in? Every year, it's a minimum of 4, right? Minimum.
Yeah, it's an average of 5.5. I've done it for the last 12 years. It's an average of 5.5.
That's where we are.
Yep.
I think 19 of the last 21 years, we've had at least one division be last place the year before, first place the next year.
Well, Charles, we appreciate you being our therapist. We were able to work through some things, including the spending of our kids, and hopefully we can do it again real soon.
I'll file with my insurance to get you your payment for this session, so thank you very much for that.
Listen, you guys, when I'll get my payment when I just call you privately and say, hey, help me out with these 3 things.
Exactly.
I got some stuff.
You have our number. Charles Davis from CBS, great job yesterday joining us on the Loud Security Systems Newsmaker line.